Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year, man. We are back. And as my boy Greeny said, better than ever, you are listening to the one and the only Let's Get It with Alaric Anderson. I am your host, Alaric Anderson. I am so happy that you all have joined me on this new year, 2020, man. It's going to be crazy in 2020, but I'm so glad that you have joined me on today. Glad to be back. We took a little break for the holidays and now we're back, and it's been a lot going on in the world of sports. So I want to thank you all for listening. Those of you all have been my continuing listeners. New listeners, welcome to the program. Remember, you can listen to us on any of the broadcast podcast platforms that you can go to: Apple Podcasts, iHeart Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. We're on SoundCloud. We have a dedicated website specifically for the show with specific content. That's alaricanderson.net, ALERICA.net. You can go there. You can listen any way you want to listen to the show. Download it, share it. Come on this journey. But thank you for joining us. Hey, I'm going to dive right in because there's so much been going on. I had such plans about what I was going to talk about the beginning of the year and going forward and what I want my teams to do, because if you're new to the show you don't know it, but those of you all who continue listeners, you know that I'm a big Golden State Warriors fan. We're not doing well this year. We haven't even won 10 games this year. My boys are out. They'll be back. But, my Rams, I'm a Rams fan. We didn't make the playoffs this year. We won 9 games. We didn't make the playoffs this year. And so, I'm a University of Missouri fan, football team. We ended up firing our coach. Shout out to the new coach, Coach Drinkwich, which basketball team is kind of up and down. I was going to come in this new year and talk about what I wanted for my teams going forward, man. But the NFL has decided, no. We gonna clown. It's time for us to take front and center. I would talk about college football right now, but the college football playoff, the national championship game is not even till Monday. So we're going to cover that at our live show on Thursday. I'll talk about that, because we back with that over at Lit Cigar Lounge. We'll talk about that later on in the show. And I will talk about college football and the college football playoff and the championship game that's next Monday night. I will talk about that on Thursday's show. But today we're just going to go straight NFL. So much is going on, man. The NFL playoffs is popping, coaching changes in some major markets, Hall of Fame finalists. So yeah, let's just go and get into it. Let's just start with the games, man. Let's just start with the games. The games this past weekend were outstanding. You had the first round, the wild card round of the NFL, and they were outstanding games. All of them were close. All of them had ups and downs. Of course, you know what happens with the New Orleans Saints. Every year, there's something that the officials didn't do. So, yeah, it's crazy. But look, we're just going to start at the top. These games were great. The first game was that early game on Saturday with the Buffalo Bills playing the Houston Texans. Look, Josh Allen, he'll probably be a great quarterback, but he made some plays, some bonehead plays in this game when Buffalo had an opportunity to maybe pull this game out. Bill O'Brien coached horribly. Sean McDermott coached horribly. It was just bad. It was bad coaching. The coaches were coaching to lose, not to lose. But in the end, talent trumps everything. And Deshaun Watson came out there in that last drive where they had that man dead to rights. They hit him high, low. He spin off of that, and that's it. When you got an athlete like that, man, it was an outstanding game. J.J. Watt came out there. He played, man. You could see the pain in his face. Coming back from that torn pectoral muscle. I was watching them at the end of the game when they were doing the interviews, and he looked like he had a little pain going on, but he was the spark that he needed, came up big on that defense. Buffalo Bills have nothing to hang their head for. I mean, they played great. They just missing some things, and Josh Allen just ain't that dude just yet. But they have, Buffalo's back. It was really, really good to see him. And because of what's going on with New England, man, Buffalo may be the cream of the crop in that AFC East going forward. But it was a great game. Came down to the end. It went to the overtime. Both teams kind of they made some really bonehead plays at the end, some clock management. But it was some great, great play. And Deshaun Watson shined in that first game. So shout out to the Houston Texans who are moving on. I was watching Get Up this morning, and they were talking about the game, and they were talking about how Deshaun Watson actually saved Bill O'Brien's job because he was going to be up. If they would have lost that game, he was going to be up. Sean McDermott was good either way. But if Bill O'Brien would have lost another playoff game, especially at home, that was going to be that. So, yeah, that was going to be that. That was going to be that. So, look, shout out to the Houston Texans. They're moving on. And then going to that next game, man, that Tennessee Titans against the New England Patriots. Look, I watched that game, and I expected, because I've been watching Tom Brady do it for 20 years, I expected Tom Brady to come at the end of that game, make a big play, hit Julian Edelman or somebody coming out of the backfield we don't even know, and then to pull off that game and win, man. But the Tennessee Titans, look, Mike Vrabel out Belichick. At the end of the game, if you watch the game, and maybe you just watched the highlights, but there was a period of time where they actually bled the clock using a rule that I didn't even know about how if you take a false start penalty, the clock keeps running, something really, really crazy, something really obscure that only a Bill Belichick would know. And Mike Vrabel used it on him. Bill Belichick was upset on the sideline. Mike Vrabel used it on him, man. That defense looked great, man. And that man, Derrick Henry, he's a bad man. That kid out of Alabama, man, watching that guy run, look, man, it's been some really powerful runners. I go back, I remember Christian Okoye, the Nigerian Nightmare, when he played for the Kansas City Chiefs, man, when he would turn them shoulders and head upfield, man, it was hard to bring that man down. Derrick Henry is that dude, man. Derrick Henry was making just cats miss and not want to tackle him, man. It got to the end of the game and nobody wanted to tackle that dude. And he out there running. It was his 26th birthday. Happy birthday to Derrick Henry. He was out there balling on his birthday, set a rushing record, a playoff rushing record, breaking the great Eddie George's record with the Tennessee Titans. Out there playing, man. And they took the heart of the New England Patriots and won that game 20-13. Look, man, you know New England is going to have a lot of issues going into the offseason. You know, it's funny. Everybody's talking about the New England Patriots and what they don't have and what they needed and all that. But New England Patriots started the season off 8-0. And the New England Patriots start off the season talking about their defense was one of the historically great defenses. Now, I watched the games, and I didn't see this historically great defense. I saw them playing some historically bad offenses, and I saw them doing just enough being opportunistic and doing some things and teams playing against the New England Mystique. But, man, those last 8 games, last 9 games, if you count the playoffs, New England didn't look good, man. They lost that last game of the season, week 17, when they lost to Miami. I knew they were going to be in trouble. So they lost in consecutive weeks to Ryan Fitzpatrick, for y'all that don't know what they call him, Ryan Fitzmagic. And then they turned around and lost to Ryan Tannehill, man. And they have some issues. Now you can say, well, they didn't have Gronk this year, and they didn't have a vertical threat, and they didn't have this, and they had blah, 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 blah. I've been watching this New England Patriots team for a long time. I go back all the way to 1985 when they lost to the Chicago Bears in the Super Bowl. So I've been watching this team for a long time. And never has there been so much if they should have, could have, if they would have had. This is the first year I heard all of that. Tom Brady been beating cats with cats you ain't never heard of. He been doing that for years. And all of a sudden this year, they need to get him some help. And they did get him some help. Remember, they started off the season, Josh Gordon was on that team. Then they brought in AB. They brought in Antonio Brown. Then they traded for Mohamed Sanu. I mean, they brought in some cats, man. They drafted N'Keal Harry. They did that. They did all of that. There was some cats out there, man. It ain't about that. I was watching the game just like the New Orleans game, and I'm going to talk about Drew Brees too. Look, when you get over 40 in anything in life, when you get over 40, you can't do the same things you did when you was 30. I don't care how many supplements you drink. I don't care how many exercises you do. I don't care how much yoga you do. I don't care. When you get over 40, things change. And Tom Brady just has lost something off that fastball. He's lost a little bit off that fastball. And when you lose a little bit off that fastball, man, I was watching The Shop. I was watching that great show, LeBron James's great show on HBO with Maverick Carter. Man, it's a great, great show. If you haven't watched it, go look at it. But they had CC Sabathia on there. CC Sabathia. Man, I've been off for 2 weeks, so y'all, bear with me. CC Sabathia was on there, and he was talking about, they said, man, when did you know? And he said, when I went out there and I was doing all the same things I had been doing, same preparation, all of that great stuff. And they was hitting it. They was hitting the ball. I was throwing them same pitches, but they wasn't doing the same thing. I knew it was time for me to go. And it's the same thing with Tom Brady, and to the same extent with Drew Brees. There comes a time when it's time to go. And if you in the NFL and you a quarterback and you don't have those legs and that fastball ain't working, it's time to get up out of the paint. And that's what we saw with New England this year. We saw it as a time to get up out of the paint. It's just like Peyton Manning his last year with Denver. The difference is he had that great defense with Denver. The difference is they had Osweiler as a backup. So by the time they got to the playoffs and time the Super Bowl, all Peyton Manning had to do was just do a little Peyton Manning stuff. Plus they played Carolina Panthers team that was a little shaky. And so, yeah, it's time in New England. And now they doing this dance about what's going to happen. Are they going to pay Tom Brady? Man, you cannot pay Tom Brady to come play quarterback for New England for another 2 or 3 years, man. That man going to be 45 years old. I don't care what you say. It's time for that cat to be up out of the paint. And remember, New England wanted to keep, not New England, Belichick wanted to keep Jimmy Garoppolo, who's still playing right now. Remember, there's some quarterbacks out there. Jacoby Brissett was a New England Patriot quarterback. There's some cats out there that was in New England and they got rid of them because they made Tom uncomfortable. Now they going in. What do you do now? What do you do? What do you do with the New England Patriots now? I mean, you got some good cats. I mean, you got Gilmore. I mean, but that's on your defensive side. Who's the star? Who are the stars? You can say whatever you want to say about the New England Patriots, but about they just had some good players, man. New England Patriots have kept some stars, man. Come on. Go back when they first started the Super Bowl run. Richard Seymour was playing. He was on the defense. He was playing on defense. Mike Vrabel was on the defense. Teddy Bruschi was on the defense. Rodney Harrison was on the defense. Come on, man. Come on. They've had some cats on the defensive side and on the offensive side. Randy Moss was out there catching that thing. They done had some cats. Gronkowski, Rob Gronkowski. They even had, I ain't even going to talk about the other dude they had on the other side of tight end. They done had some cats, man. So don't say, they've always had these guys that you could just, you pull off the street. No, they done had some dogs out there too. And now they don't have any dogs, man. They don't have no dogs. They don't have no dogs that can hunt. So New England has got some rebuilding to do. If Kraft called me and say, Al, man, what should I do, man? Alec, what should I do? I was like, man, look, I would let Brady go. I would go out there and try to draft me a for real quarterback, one of them cats that's coming out. Man, I do everything I can to go get Joe Burrow. Everything I do to go get Justin Herbert. Everything I could do to get Tua Tagovailoa. Anything I could do to go get them cats, man. Anything I could do to go get one of them cats, man, and bring them cats in, man. I would do what they did in Dallas, man. When Jimmy Johnson was coach, when he first came in as a head coach, man, Jimmy Johnson drafted Troy Aikman, and then he turned around in the supplemental draft and went out there and got Steve Walsh, man. Now, Steve Walsh didn't end up playing for him, man, but he went and got him 2 quarterbacks right off the bat. Right off the bat. He went and got him 2 right off the bat. They need to do that with the quarterback position, man. They need to go and get that quarterback. Look at you. You need to do that. You need to go get you a running back, man. You need to go get you a dog, man. You need another dog. You need another dog. Sony Michel is nice, man, but you need to get you another dog. You need to go get some wide receivers, man. I'm looking at these cats that's doing. I'm looking at DK Metcalf that's balling for Seattle. He sat there to the second round, man. Everybody looking at that cat didn't go get him. I don't understand what's going on in America. I'm looking at all these cats, man, that's out here balling, and you going to get a Antonio Brown off the that he couldn't make it with Oakland. You spending money on Josh Gordon. That dude was a bad man, but he was a bad man like 5-6 years ago in Cleveland. Come on now, man. You got to go. You got to go and get you. You done got rid of some great players, but you got to go now. You got to go replenish that offensive side. You got to go replenish that defensive side. You got to go use some of them picks, man, and go do something. You can't. You saw what it looks like with Edelman as your number one. Edelman ain't a number one. Edelman is a slot. He ain't a number one. He's open all the time because they stretch the field. No Gronk, he ain't open. You got to go get that, and you got to make a change at quarterback. I'm going to get off my soapbox when it comes to New England Patriots, but that's what the New England Patriots got to do. If they stick with Tom Brady, they're going to have another bad year because Tom Brady going to get hurt next year. So that's them Saturday games, man. Shout out to the Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans who are moving on to the next round, to the divisional round. Sunday, games. And another thing I like, man, I like the fact that they split it up this year with the AFC one day and the NFC on the other day. I thought that was really, really cool. I don't know if that's something they're going to do going forward, but I thought it was really, really cool, man, because I enjoyed them two games, man, on Saturday, and then I enjoyed watching them two games with the NFC on Sunday. That first game, Minnesota, New Orleans, man, it was one of those games that you knew as you were watching that game and you watching Kirk Cousins as quarterback and you watching Drew Brees as quarterback, something told you that it was going to be something that happens that's going to make you go, oh, okay, here we go. Last play, the last play in overtime, they come down, quarterback drops back, boom, boom, throws it. Kyle Rudolph, little hand fighting, gets the touchdown, game over. New Orleans wants that to be looked at, and they say that is, they got to look at it. That's why the rule is made. Okay, I got that. Okay, in that vacuum, that one play, yeah, okay, I got that. But let's talk about the plays that led up to that. Let's talk about that great throw down to Thielen that got him inside the 10. New Orleans Saints always crying about the last play, but they don't talk about the plays that led up to that. Let's talk about ball in Drew Brees' hand and he fumbles. Can we talk about that? Let's talk about Alvin Kamara not showing up. It's one thing to show up when you got another dog back there, my boy Mark Ingram. When you had him back there with you and y'all was firing lightning and you was doing all that bad and y'all, if you ball, get the call with Deion Sanders and all that, man. But when he is now in Baltimore and it's just you, Alvin Kamara didn't show up this season. He did not show up this season at all. That man, and in the playoffs, oh, come on now. Come on, let's see if he catch the same rap that Todd Gurley caught last year. Let's see if we hear all those voices that was clowning Todd Gurley last year about what he should have done in the playoffs. Because what I saw was Alvin Kamara was very, very healthy. He was very, very healthy. Let's talk about them not throwing the ball to the greatest wide receiver in the game right now, Michael Thomas. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about the decision making to have Taysom Hill actually outplay Drew Brees in a playoff game at home? Can we talk about that too? As we're ringing the bell for these cats, let's talk about that. Shout out to the Minnesota Vikings. They made the plays. They won the game. Shout out to Mike Zimmer and his staff. I can't wait to see. They got to do it again. You say, you like that? Yeah, we like it. Now you got to do it again. Shout out to the Minnesota Vikings. They made just enough plays to win that game against the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans go into another offseason crying. Okay, but that's New Orleans. That's what they do. They cry. Going to that next game, the Seattle-Philadelphia game. Look, man, shout out first to the Seattle Seahawks, balling out. Russell Wilson is a bad man. He's a future Hall of Famer. Shout out to that team. I'm just going to put it right out there. Shout out to them drafting DK Metcalf. That man is a beast. He is a monster. And shout out to them having the foresight to go get Marshawn Lynch and say, come on and play in the playoffs. Marshawn out there doing Marshawn things. Shout out to them. I want to shout out to, and as much as I hate it because they're in my division, I got to shout out the Seattle Seahawks, man. Man, look here. Man, come on. That team is a nice team, and they have the inside track now because with beast mode now with them, I have a hard time seeing another team beating them other than the Baltimore Ravens. That's going to be a lovely Super Bowl. But let me keep going. Let me talk about what really happened in that game. Once again, Carson Wentz got hurt. Bottom line. Once again, Carson Wentz got hurt. Say it with me. Once again, Carson Wentz got hurt. Carson Wentz gets hurt. He goes down. That's that. And there we go. That's the bottom line. There we go. He gets hit. Some people say it was a questionable hit. It was a hit, man. It was a running quarterback. You get hit by Jadeveon Clowney, some things are going to happen. Some bad things are bound to happen if Jadeveon Clowney hits you, no matter where he hits you. Okay? But it's classic Carson Wentz. And classic, here we are again. If you're the Philadelphia Eagles and you are in a game and your starting quarterback that you paid all this money to, who's supposed to be your star, can't answer the bell. So Philadelphia has some issues, man. Philadelphia's got to do some things. They got to make some decisions. You had Nick Foles. You got rid of him. You went and got, oh my God, dog. You got Josh McCown. Josh McCown was coaching football and you went and got him. He had to play a playoff game for you. That is bad being a bad general manager. That's being horrible, man. When you got a quarterback that stay hurt like Carson Wentz, it's a bad general manager that doesn't have a decent backup behind him. Shout out to the New Orleans Saints earlier this season when they lost, when Drew Brees went down. They already had Teddy Bridgewater on the bench. They didn't say, "Oh, we got Taysom Hill." Taysom Hill looks good when he's the third option, not when he's the first option. But Philadelphia didn't do that. They lose a game at home to the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle goes on to play. Philadelphia is going home. So we're looking forward, man, to some great games coming up this weekend. We're going to talk about them on Thursday, but I just wanted to give you that recap on last weekend. Big coaching changes, big coaching news in the NFL, some coaching hires. Dallas has hired a new head coach. You know, they fired Jason Garrett. They've hired a new coach, Mike McCarthy, former head coach of the Green Bay Packers, former Super Bowl winning coach in his fifth year when he was at Green Bay. He is now the new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. He went and got Mike Nolan, to be his defensive coordinator, former head coach of the 49ers. They got him, so they should be nice. Dallas. New York Giants went out and got Joe Judge. Who? Question mark? Joe Judge, wide receiver coach for the New England Patriots. That's classic New York Giants. If you're going to do that, you might as well kept Pat Shurmur. You might as well kept Pat Shurmur if that is going to be your answer. Joe Judge. That means you didn't get who you wanted. And you know why you didn't get who you wanted? Because the Carolina Panthers and their money went and got Matt Rule from Baylor. Matt Rule is the new head coach for the Carolina Panthers. They're going to be nice. They're going to be nice. Now let's see what they do with what they're going to do with Cam. Oh, Cam. Don't know if they're going to keep him, but they're going to be nice now. Carolina's going to be nice. Washington went and got Riverboat Ron Rivera. You fired him from the Carolina Panthers, and Washington went on and got him. So he's the new head coach for the Washington team. And then I don't say what they, because, you know, they the Skins. Okay, I don't put the other thing on it. And then Cleveland's still out there trying to figure out. They're interviewing Josh McDaniel. I think Josh McDaniel is going to be the new head coach. That's a perfect spot for him. He's already been a head coach once with Denver. He's been an offensive coordinator with the Rams. He's been an offensive coordinator, successful offensive coordinator with the New England Patriots. And he'll be he's the kind of head coach that they need in Cleveland. Cleveland should back up the truck to him, give him anything he wants, and make that happen, and make him the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, but we're going to see what happens with that. So yeah, so that's the big deal. Those are the big coaching changes. We're going to talk a little bit about those in depth on my show on Thursday because I got a little more time and we can take, we can do a deep dive and I can talk about that more in depth. Before I get out of here today, man, I want to talk about the finalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. They announced their modern day era player finalists. Great list of players. You got Troy Polamalu, he's on first ballot. Edgerrin James, Zach Thomas, Brian Young, that dude Richard Seymour I was talking about. You got John Lynch, Steve Atwater, Leroy Butler, Reggie Wayne. Man, you got two of the greatest show on turf with Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce. You got that great linebacker, the late, great Sam Mills, man, who used to be down there in New Orleans when they had Jackson and Swilling and him. Y'all don't know about that, boy. Them dudes, that when they had, them dudes, when Mora was down there, they were nice, man. They had a nice set of linebackers. They ran that 3-4. New Orleans Saints, and he's also played with the Carolina Panthers. Tony Baselli, tackle, Penn State, first pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars, man. Alan Faneca, another great guard, played with the Pittsburgh Steelers, the New York Jets, and the Arizona Cardinals. And another one of those great guards, Steve Hutchinson, from that played for the Seattle Seahawks, Minnesota Vikings, Tennessee Titans, man. It's a lot of cats on here, man. First ballot cats, though, I see Troy Polamalu is a first ballot cat. Zach Thomas is a first ballot cat. And then after that, man, you could throw it up in the air, man. John Lynch is a great player. I'm partial. I think only one wide receiver is going to go in. And between Reggie Wayne, Torrey Holt, and Isaac Bruce, it's probably going to be Isaac Bruce this time. I mean, come on. It's probably going to be Isaac Bruce this time. If not Isaac, it'll be Torrey. I don't think Reggie Wayne is going to do that. Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt, they changed the game. They changed how receivers caught the ball. They changed all of that. And so when they're sitting in that room, they're probably going to talk about how them cats changed the game. So yeah. So some of these cats, these guards, these tackles, I'm not quite sure. Edgerrin James had a great career, but he played at the same time as some greats, man. He played great, but he was doing his thing same time as Marshall Faulk. He was doing his thing same time as Marshall Faulk. So we'll see what the deal is with that. But so that's the finalists for the Hall of Fame. They will be making that announcement later on in 2020, man, and we'll stay on top of that. So look, man. So let me get you up to speed on what's going on, man. This Thursday, let's get it live. Y'all know how we do it this Thursday at Lit Cigar Lounge, 17073 North Outer 40 Road in Chesterfield, Missouri. If you're in St. Louis, come through. We start at 5 p.m. Come on through. It's a lovely time, lovely things going on. I have a good time. Everybody there has a good time. We just have a good time there. So come through. Let's get it live this Thursday, the 9th of January. And man, look, I'm going to give you a little secret. Y'all ready? I'm just going to say it real soft. Super Bowl Sunday show. Yeah, it's going to be lit. See what I did there? I'm going to talk about that, man. I'm especially talk about that on Thursday because we'll be in lit and we'll talk about what we're going to be doing on Super Bowl Sunday, man. We're doing a live show, man. It's going to be off the chain. It's going to be crazy. But hey, so look, man, I am so glad that you joined me on the day. Glad we are back doing this. I'm glad to make it to another year, 2020. A lot of great sports going on. And we're going to enjoy every little bit of them, man. This is the fun season. You got football winding up. You got basketball, NBA headed towards the trade deadline and headed towards All-Star break. You got a lot going on, man. College basketball gearing up. The draft coming up. Combine, all of that stuff. So we're going to stay on top of it, man. Thank you for listening. This has been your boy, Alaric Anderson. Let's get it with Alaric Anderson. Glad you joined us. We look forward to speaking to you soon. You know how soon? On Thursday, man. Tune in on Thursday. Thanks for listening. See you on Thursday. God bless.